Welcome back to Literal BS, the show that tears through media fog and exposes what's screwing over working Americans. Today, we're going after one of the most politically abused ideas in the country. Immigrants are taking our jobs. Now, some people use that line to stoke hate and division, but we're going deeper, because the truth is, immigrants aren't the ones stealing your job. Corporations are handing it away. We're going to break this down into facts, names, numbers, and policy. Let's get started. There's this cartoonish image floating around that every job loss in America is because someone jumped a border fence and got paid under the table. That's not even close. Here's the real split. Undocumented immigrants mostly take low-wage, physically demanding jobs. Agriculture, construction, domestic labor. These are roles that often go unfilled by Americans. But the jobs that are being taken away from middle-class Americans? That's happening through legal channels, mainly via the H-1B visa program and offshore outsourcing. We're not talking about day laborers here. We're talking software engineers, accountants, IT support specialists, data analysts, and white-collar professionals. And it's not that there aren't enough skilled Americans. It's that companies don't want to pay them. The H-1B visa was created under the Immigration Act of 1990 to let U.S. companies hire foreign workers in specialty occupations. We're talking tech, medicine, engineering, jobs requiring at least a bachelor's degree. It was supposed to help when there weren't enough Americans to fill roles. But here's the kicker. The law doesn't require employers to prove there are no qualified U.S. workers. They're only required to pay the prevailing wage, which is often lowballed based on outdated salary data. Fact: in 2023, over 70% of H-1B visa holders were paid below industry average wages, reported by the Department of Labor. And why do this? Because that's the loophole. Companies like Infosys, Tata Consultancy, Accenture, and even Google actively game the system to bring in workers they can control. These visa holders can't quit without losing their legal status. They can't demand raises. They can't unionize. They're perfect for exploitation. These companies are not struggling. They're laying off Americans and hiring cheaper foreign workers to replace them. Remember the 2022 to 2023 tech layoffs? Over 300,000 workers were let go across the industry, and yet H-1B applications didn't stop. Because the layoffs weren't about performance. They were about cost-cutting. And here's the most brutal part. In many cases, American workers were forced to train their foreign replacements before being let go. This happened at Disney in 2015. It happened at Southern California Edison. It's happened at banks, hospitals, and federal contractors. You're being replaced, and you're expected to help do it. Let's talk about the cousin of the H-1B system, outsourcing. Big corporations realized they don't even need to bring workers into the U.S. to save money. They can just move the jobs there. Call centers in the Philippines, IT in India, back office work in Romania or Mexico. IBM, for example, cut 10,000 U.S. jobs in 2023 and ramped up hiring in Bangalore. Why pay an American $110,000 with benefits when you can pay someone overseas $20,000 with none? Even small businesses now outsource marketing, coding, customer service, and bookkeeping. And unless you're in the top 5% of your field, you're vulnerable. So why doesn't Congress fix this? The short answer is money. The H-1B system and offshore outsourcing have powerful lobbies behind them. In 2023 alone, Big Tech spent $122 million on federal lobbying. Companies like Meta, Google, and Amazon lobbied specifically to raise visa caps and block wage reforms. Both Democrats and Republicans are complicit because these corporations write campaign checks and offer post-office jobs. Even worse, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce files lawsuits against restrictions that would protect American workers. Middle-class Americans, especially those between 30 to 55 years old in tech, finance, and other white-collar industries. You go to college. You have worked for 15 years. Then you're told your job's being relocated or transitioned. Good luck starting over when you're 45, trying to get rehired by the same companies that just offloaded your role. It's not a skills gap. It's a wage gap. This affects minorities, veterans, single parents, anyone who worked their way up without an elite degree or a wealthy safety net. Here's what most people don't realize. The foreign workers on H-1B, they're often victims too. Many are highly educated, working 60-plus hour weeks, tied to their employer for years. If they complain, they're gone. If they get fired, they have 60 days to leave or get deported. Some companies even threaten to cancel green card sponsorship to maintain control. So let's be clear, they're not the villains. They're the tools of a system built by billion-dollar companies that view all workers, foreign and domestic, as replaceable. Now let's talk solutions. Real ones, not political slogans. 1. Reform the H-1B system. Prioritize workers with advanced degrees from U.S. universities. Require real proof that no Americans were available. Eliminate loopholes in prevailing wage standards. 2. Make it easier for H-1B workers to change employers. Give them freedom. That will drive wages up and cut corporate abuse. 3. Tax outsourcing and reward restoring. Create a system where hiring Americans is worth it again. 4. Invest in U.S. talent pipelines. Not just boot camps, but public education, apprenticeships, and mid-career retraining. Because if you don't build your workforce, you're just renting someone else's. Let's be honest. The next time someone says immigrants are taking American jobs, you ask them, which immigrants and what jobs? And who's signing the checks? Because the real threat to American workers doesn't come from across a border. It comes from across a boardroom, from the chief executives chasing cheaper labor, from Congress looking the other way, from a system built to bleed dry the very people who built it. So no, we're not anti-immigrant. We're anti-exploitation. Thanks for listening to Literal BS. This is Rob, and I hope I cleared the bullshit from this propaganda. Subscribe, share, and stay awake, because the people cashing in are hoping you won't. See you next time.